David, didn't you buy Lululemon stock a while back? How's that going for you?
How's it going? It's not going well.
Ah, really?
Yeah, let's talk about that today. Because
All right.
right now, that company, we are seeing the rise and the crash of Lululemon. From flankinvesting.com, this is Money Grooves. I'm David. I've been investing for over 10 years.
I'm Elliot. I'm new to investing, but here to learn.
At the peak, Lululemon was reinventing the fashion industry. They basically made leggings something that you could wear out to the bar.
Yeah, for sure. It was the advent of leggings.
Yeah. And then they broke into men's fashion. And I remember my first time in 2020 walking into a Lululemon, and I came out, and I don't buy clothes, and I came out with 4 pairs of their ABC pants.
I remember my first time going to Lululemon and trying on other clothes and realizing that they were mainly for tall people.
But they offer free hemming.
That's true. And one of the many reasons why they were so hot was services like that, and also the whole aesthetic and the quality of the clothes as well.
The quality and the quality has gone down, but we'll get to that. We're going to jump. Because I do think that there's something with the quality of Lululemon going down pretty drastically. Let's go back to when I bought, because that tells you where my mind was at when I put up a lot of money into this. I put $30,000 into Lululemon.
You really believed in those pants you bought.
I sure did. I'm actually still wearing them. That's how good the quality was. I'm still
Right.
wearing the pants.
Right.
I'm still wearing the pants.
If there's one thing I know about you, it's you can almost guarantee that at any given day you're wearing Lululemon.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's at least something. I like the clothes. That's a good reason, and that's what we do as flankers.
Right, exactly.
We find companies that we love, and then we do a little bit of homework,
Right.
and we see if it's worth it, if it's worth buying or not.
Right.
But back in 2024, so the stock was getting crushed from the all-time highs, and then fast forward to around the April-May time period, they released bad guidance. They said that, hey, we're struggling in North America. We're going to pull back our forecasting for the rest of the year.
And that's called bad guidance when they say things like, we had kind of a tough quarter, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So on every earnings call, a lot of times management will say, all right, next quarter, next year, we expect revenue to grow by this percent. They said, we expect revenue to drop like 8% in North America.
Wow.
And that sent the markets wild. And so this was during the Vibe session time where people didn't want to spend $128 on pants,
Right.
you know, so it made sense. And so, and a large bit of their market is in China, and China was in the midst of a really bad recession at that time.
Interesting.
So the stock price crashed, and I bought.
Yep.
And then it continued to crash, and that's called catching a falling knife, which we made a full video on, which we'll link at the end of this show if you want to see what my thoughts were in the moment.
Do you actually catch a knife in the video?
No, that would have been kind of cool though.
Okay. Well, I'll watch anyway.
Yeah. But so here's what I was thinking back then. So this is April of 24. So if we go back, this is what I saw. If we look at their revenue,
Huge.
the revenue was
increase.
Yeah, the revenue was doing well, right? This is I think it's Q2. I think they're on calendar year.
Yeah.
But Q2, Q3, so like it was looking okay. This wasn't anything to make me like lose my mind over.
100%.
And this is what I really like about the business is their margins.
There we go.
They sell shit for a very high price, and it does not cost them that much to make it.
It does not cost them $125 to make that pair of pants.
Yeah, 58% gross margins is wonderful. I
Yeah.
loved that a business was able to do that.
Right.
And a business that I even put my own money towards because
Right.
I liked buying their stuff. So that's where my head was at back in 24. There was a lot, and you can find all my research in the old videos. It was before Flank could actually do text posts. So you actually won't find a lot of my old research because we were still writing the software.
Oh, nice.
But I also wish I wish I could access that because it'd be really cool. I'm trying to put this stuff together in preparation for this video. I had to like think about this stuff.
Redo it all.
Yeah, and look back at old videos. It'd be way better if I had it, in Flank.
Yeah. Okay. So you like the company, you like their products, you saw an opportunity, and you invested, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
And then I held the stock for about a year. I still hold. I made a little bit of money. It did rebound here, but then I just didn't like that. I didn't like the direction that Calvin Johnson, the CEO, was taking the business.
Yeah, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will. That's
Oh,
and I didn't like the direction that he was taking things. And so I made the decision to sell the majority of my shares. I still have like around $7,000. Well, it's less than $7,000 now because it's gone down. But I'll continue to hold out. I think the stock will rebound.
When you say the way he was taking things, what exactly was he doing that made you sell?
That is a perfect lead-in to the next segment. And to really answer it, we got to go back to the beginning.
Okay. Time machine.
Time machine. And it goes back to this guy. This is Chip Wilson. He's the founder of Lululemon.
Okay.
And he's a raging asshole.
Oh, no.
But he has some good points, and he built a very good brand.
Right.
As we all, as someone who likes their clothing.
Killer brand.
Yeah. So, Chip Wilson, just to emphasize how much of a jerk this guy is, he picked the name Lululemon because it sounded exclusive, but then he also knew that it would sell well in Asia.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so he thought that it would be fun.
And he knew that it would be challenging for someone who spoke an Asian language potentially to say an L sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
not a good move.
Not a good look. But that's not even the controversy. The controversy happened back in 2013 when Lululemon had a slight product issue that their leggings were see-through.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And he said this as a response.
Hello, I'm Chip Wilson. I'm founder of Lululemon Athletica. I'd like to talk to you today about the last few days of media that's occurred around the Bloomberg interview. I'm sad. I'm really sad. I'm sad for the repercussions of my actions.
Good start, right? Like that's he's
I
apologizing
think it's
there.
an okay direction so far.
Yeah, except this is where he takes it.
There have always been pilling. The thing is that women will wear seat belts that don't work, or they'll wear a purse that doesn't work, or quite frankly, some women's bodies just actually don't work for it.
Chip Wilson.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's problematic.
That's so bad.
Especially when your core demographic is women.
Yeah, right.
That's an incredibly insulting thing for a man to say, for anyone to say,
So
let alone a
incredibly-
man.
So incredibly tone deaf.
Yeah. And so that controversy went through the roof, and he was eventually ousted from the company. So they bring in this guy, Calvin Johnson, who was coming from his tenure as CEO of Sephora.
Okay.
And even in one of his first interviews, he said, "We've moved well beyond our founders' misguided views." So he really tried to pivot the brand away from that.
Right. Pivot away.
Yeah, from body shaming, right? Mm-hmm. First, I just got to say, Calvin Johnson, probably the most handsome S&P 500 CEO. Now I'm going to say the problematic part. I think Calvin Johnson messed up.
Oh, no, you do?
I do.
The two duds in a row?
I think he messed up because, and we're seeing it at Nike right now, Nike's repivoting back to that athletic first, like not even athletic body type, but just excellence in sports, right? And you can be any body type, right?
Sure.
Like that's not the matter here.
Yeah.
But Calvin Johnson's trying to take a Sephora model to Lululemon.
Sure.
And Sephora is, that's makeup. That's pretty much for everyone. I mean, makeup's had its own problematic history as well.
Sure.
But when you try to make a brand for everyone, you make a brand for no one.
True, because truly just about anybody can buy makeup and get some use out of it. Clothes are slightly different because there is a little bit more involved in the right fit, if you will.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and if you're going for athletic attire, it's okay that it is more form-fitting and stuff. But it's not, that doesn't excuse Chip Wilson being a dick. And saying those things on Bloomberg, right? Don't say that out loud.
What did Calvin Johnson do that made you think that he messed up?
Yeah, I think so. And unfortunately, I'll use Chip Wilson's own words. He said that if you go on their site, the models today they look like ill. Like, and he's not even just talking about like the women models. He's talking about the male models. They look like sometimes they're, and I actually do feel that sometimes they look extremely skinny and like I'm like not like too skinny. There's no such thing as too skinny.
I've been thinking you look a little sickly lately.
I do look sick. Yeah, I'm grieving.
Elliot's canceled. Boo.
So that's really the thing is he tried to take the Sephora model and plug it into a retailer that was able to have really nice margins because they had a really strong business plan.
Sure. Okay, so clearly there are some problems in the CEO department. But were there other reasons that you think the stock fell?
Yeah. Like we said, quality has gone down. The clothes that I bought in 2020 still last today.
100%.
I bought clothes in 24 that are now worn out.
Yeah.
So the quality has absolutely dropped. And that was, if I'm going to pay $60 for an athletic shirt,
right,
that thing better last me 10 years.
Right.
And that's what I liked that part as I will pay $60 for a shirt that I will have for a decade. I that's more eco-friendly to me.
Especially with a brand that's as like noticeable and as like high end as Lululemon. People tend to notice that their fabrics are unique, that they have unique cuts, really fabrics for me are the thing that I notice the most. So people notice when those fabrics change and when they go down in quality, right? If you're going to build a brand that's centered around quality, like distinct fabrics and fits and just a really bespoke product, you got to keep it up because people are going to notice when it changes.
Yeah, 100% agree. The other big problem besides quality is that they have so much more competition than they did in 2015.
100%. Everybody has an athleisure line now.
Everybody, yeah, and not even that. 90% of Vuori stores and 84% of Alo, their two main competitors, are located within a mile and a half of a Lululemon store.
Oh my God. It's the CVS and Walgreens model.
Yeah, exactly.
Built directly across from one another.
Yeah, and then compete on brand. And the competitors have absolutely thrown this scandal into Lululemon's face. And I know
100%.
people who won't buy Lululemon to this day because of the body shaming that the former CEO did.
Lasting damage.
And that's fair. That's fair. Vote with your dollars.
Right.
If you don't agree with someone, if you don't agree with the company's principles, vote with your freaking dollars.
Vote with your dollars.
They will notice if enough people do it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, we have several examples of that in the recent history.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Okay, so you presented a lot of facts. Thanks for the history. That was awesome. What is the takeaway for you?
Yeah. I had FOMO because I saw this company, but when I first bought the pants, I went, I should look at investing in Lululemon. And I didn't do my homework. I was like, I should do it. And then I was like, I don't really know what the valuation is. Like it's kind of weird when you see a 40, whatever it was, $60 billion, apparel company. It's like, I don't really know if I would have had Flank, or if I would have had some way to do my research in a systematic way and in like and have a methodology, that would have worked, but I didn't. And so I was using like a Google sheet to track all my investing at the time. And I was looking at other things. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't do the work that I should have done. And I remembered that. And so back in 24, when the stock dropped, I was like, cause then I saw the run up and I was like, oh man, I saw it. And then fast forward, when I saw it crash, I went, oh, I can get in now.
Yeah.
So I was too eager. And most importantly, I didn't listen to the world around me. The guy who's editing this video, when we were talking about it, because we work at Flank, we're going to talk about stocks and investing.
Yeah.
I was talking to him about it, and he's like, yeah, I talked to my wife about it. And she's saying that her and all of her friends are buying Alo. And because they like the brand more. It's just the more up and coming. It feels more fresh and all that stuff. The clothing's better.
Yeah.
And so that to me is a signal that's like, I should look at how I didn't pay attention to how competitive the landscape was getting.
Yeah. For me here, the takeaway is we should always listen to our video editor, Jason.
Yes. Jason is never wrong.
The backbone of the show.
Yeah. Shout out Jason.
Shout out to Jason. Yeah.
So that's what I did wrong. And there's nothing wrong with that. You will not hit 100, you will not bat 1,000 in the game of investing.
100%.
You won't. And it's okay. For every one dud you buy, you hopefully bought 2 or 3 really good companies.
Yeah.
And also I learned I'm a better investor because of Lululemon. And because I didn't use margin, because I didn't use these crazy options or anything like that,
right.
I still made money. Let me be clear. I made money on my Lululemon investment. I didn't make a lot of money. It underperformed the S&P 500, but I still, that's why investing is hard enough.
Right.
We don't need to do the whole crazy high finance things. It gets way too complicated, and you also your risk for total loss goes way up.
Right.
So that's all for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see the stocks that I'm researching that'll hopefully be a win, you can check them out on flankinvesting.com for free. And if you have no idea what we're talking about, we have a course that walks you through exactly how to research stocks like Warren Buffett from start to finish. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, everybody.